Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics. In this video I wanted to bring you another one of my favorite tanks, and that is our 20-gallon Neolamprologus caudopunctatus tank, otherwise known as the red fin caudopunk. These are great fish. We've bred quite a bit of them. We've actually split a group off into another 20-gallon. I'm going to show you how they're doing, give you an update. Hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for being here. So this is our Neolamprologus caudopunctatus tank. This is the red fin variety. As you can see here, there are a lot of fish in this tank. It is only a standard 20-gallon. And we started with 6 fish in this tank, and they bred, and then they bred again. And I think they bred one more time. And we've since removed quite a few of these fish. Like I mentioned, we've already moved a group into another 20-gallon to kind of thin out the herd. We've sold some fish before the swaps and auctions got shut down. But this is a wonderful fish. We did a full species profile on these guys. I'll put that in the upper right-hand corner as well as in the description below if you want to learn a lot more about their care and breeding. But I just wanted to take the time in this video to bring you an update of this tank, which I absolutely love. The scaping is not great. Again, what we're looking at here is a tank that was primarily set up to breed the fish, and they have done their part. And they're getting pretty close to full grown here. So we're going to probably split off a group of these fish into another tank yet again, and maybe try to breed another group of them and maybe have 3 tanks going. You can see here we have some mystery snail shells laying around the tank. Some of them are alive, some of them have since become food. We had a couple mystery snails make their way into this tank. They bred, had a lot of mystery snail babies, and then that's kind of the result. So you see some shells, some larger shells in this tank. This is not technically a shell-dwelling cichlid. They are from Lake Tanganyika. They are fantastic little fish, but they don't necessarily use the shells the way a traditional shell dweller would use the shells. But we often find that when these fish have fry, the smaller fry will hang out in the shells, and even the parents will kind of guard them if the fry are hanging out inside. But they're mostly going to be doing their breeding activity in the rocks that you see. In the rocks, that's just some flagstone. It works really well in our fish room because it doesn't have a major impact on our water parameters. So our pH is already high, around an 8 to an 8.2. Our water hardness is pretty close to 200 parts per million in both general hardness and KH. So the flagstone doesn't have a major impact. The sand that you're looking at, that was Carib Sea sand. I like that a lot. It's working out well for this tank. Just have one sponge filter. I know some people, they look at sponge filters and wonder how well they can do in a heavily stocked tank, which is what I would consider this to be. And the sponge filter is working just fine. Never have any ammonia or nitrite issues. We do our water changes to keep the nitrates at 20 parts per million or less. And we've got a little bit of hornwort floating at the top, which helps a bit as well. So this tank is going to, like I said, we're going to thin this herd out a little bit, move them to other fish tanks. We've got our Lake Tanganyika 125 that we have set up. I think we might move maybe 4 or 5 into that tank as well, just to see how they do. I think that would be a really interesting sort of mix. So these are, again, Neolamprologus caudopunctatus. They are Lake Tanganyikan fish, so they like that higher pH. They like that harder water. These are great fish for a smaller tank. And so you could easily keep, we started with, I believe it was 5 in this 20-gallon. Of course, we've got a lot more now. We have another 20-gallon on the other side of this where I added another 6, and they're getting along fine. You can see here again, there's no fin nipping. There is nobody being chased into a corner. So part of that is because the tank is relatively heavily stocked. Now, ideally, if you wanted to breed them, it would be best just to have a pair in a tank about this size and then let them have their fry. And you can see there's not a lot of fry predation. At least we haven't experienced that, mostly because we feed our fish really well. These fish absolutely love live baby brine. So even though the fry are now mostly almost fully grown adults, we still feed the tank live baby brine because they like it so much, and they just really respond well to it. So wanted to give you this update. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you being here. Again, if you want more information on these fish, check out that video in the upper right-hand corner. If you want more information just on shell dwellers in general, check out the video in the lower right-hand corner. If you like this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.